So I figured I would go ahead. Oh, there's the chat button that I couldn't find before. So I figured since this is an asynchronous day, I would kind of go through some of these in case people have questions. They can check their work, et cetera, et cetera. Those of you in class, if you're here and would like to jump in, obviously shoot me a chat or go ahead and jump in on this. Go ahead and jump in on the microphone. So here we go. The goal for today, we're just kind of reviewing how to go through and write equations in slope-intercept form. Tomorrow we're going to do point-slope form, if I remember correctly. So if we go to hit next, a little bit of review, find the slope between the 2 points. Easiest way that I've found for students to pick up, particularly if you're not sure what to do, is just do ahead and make a table. Is there a formula? Yes. Does it work? Yes. Do people get confused with it? Yes. So I find that this has worked out for us, particularly for kids who just, I mean, if you don't like organizing things, this is the best way to go. So then what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and figure out how do I go from 3 to -4. And remember, the way that you do that is that you subtract, you go -4 minus 3. And so what you're going to end up finding is that you're subtracting 7 there. And then you're going to do the same thing over on this side. You can be like, oh, look, I'm adding 7. So then remember here, slope, which is shortcut for m. And having looked at that, there is really no reason that can be definitely defined to that. Some people say it's because the French word for mountain, no, not mountain or climb, starts with an M. You know, there's all sorts of stuff. So anyway, M is that, or M is equal to -1. I can type in a -1. I'll check my answer. Hey, awesome. I can also edit it. And if you had typed in -7/7, that is also awesome. That works. You can do the same thing. We got one more review over here of slope, and over here, same idea. Now, again, they give you 5 points here. You only really need 2. And so when you go through that, what you're going to end up doing is, again, all you need to do is make a chart and pick 2 of the points. Any 2 points will do. So it does not matter. So I can even pick these 2 if I wanted to. I'm going to go to 25. Actually, I should write these down separately. I'm sorry. So 25 and 90. And then 30 and 110. So again, you're going to ask yourself, how am I going from 90 to 110? As best way to, you can subtract. Just make sure you're subtracting them in the right order, or in the same order. If I do a 1 for column Y, I'm going to do the same one for column X. So in this case here, I'm adding 20 on. They go from 90 to 110. To go from 25 to 30, I am adding 5. So then for your slope up over here, you're going to write down, you can either go, so again, a variety of different ways you can do it. You can go 20 divided by 5. That will be correct. I can do 20 divided by 5. And you're like, oh, wait a second, that's 4. Bingo. Way to go. All right. So now what we're going to end up doing next is we're going to go through and we're going to, whoa. All right. So again, this is asynchronous, so it's kind of help to walk you through it. So what we're going to do here is that the goal here is to manipulate these numbers here in such a way so that this line transfers over. I will tell you that the number that happens one time as opposed to the number that's multiplied by the slope is probably the easiest one to put first. So I'm going to modify this number right here, the b, until it goes down and it hits -2 like that. Okay. Now notice here, this -2 is the same as this -2. So this number right here, the b, this is your y-intercept. That's your y-axis. And then you're going to manipulate up your slope until we get it to go through that point. Now, we could also have just gone up here. Now, watch this. This is the cool part. I can change this to 1.5. I can change this to -2. Boom. There we go. I know, right? And so here's the other cool part. You can also try to like find good points. So, like, that's a good point. No, that should be like -2, 1. Oh, come on. Anyway, so there's -2, 1. So you're going to say, I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, to the right 2. 3 over 2, guess what? 1.5. If I wanted to, I could even write 3 over 2. So it works. There you go. So that's what we're going to play with. So we're going to manipulate this. Now, one of the other things that I'm going to suggest that you do, and you'll see this here on number 6, is you can either type in the numbers here, or you can modify what I see here. So like in this case here, well here, actually let's just type it down here, but y equals, and I'm just going to start with, since I know this, if I draw a line through, is going to be positive, I'm just going to start with x plus, and then you're going to say, okay, where do I start on the y-intercept? Minus 2. Okay, so I'm going to go actually y x plus 2. Ooh, that's pretty good. So, okay, I've got going through here the negative 2. Ooh, nice hair, Mr. Hayes. Stay like this then, I guess. And you're going to say, okay, I'm going to go along until I hit this. Okay, so that's fine, except I want to get to this point here. So how far do I have to move up for that? 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I got to go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So up 4 to the right 6. Oh, okay. So up 4 over 6. So again, remember, it says right up. So whenever you go at the top number, the y value is always going to be the numerator, and then the denominator is always going to be over there. Now, if you wanted to, you could reduce that. You could say 2/3. Just don't. I mean, if you type that in, you're going to get a decimal of like 0.666666666, and it's not going to be perfect. So that's why fractions are so nice. Just because leaving unreduced fractions bugs me as a math teacher. I actually get hives. I'm starting to itch already. So we're going to do that. Ugh, pardon me, that was very unprofessional. Let's take a look at number 7. So in slide 7, oh, and by the way, one of the things, am I zoomed in here? Oh, I was zoomed in a little bit. Maybe? No, I wasn't. Okay. One of the other things that you can do with this, which I think is it's good to know, is that I can move this around. And if you ever get stuck and down too far, you can always hit the home button. So we want to graph 2 lines. Okay, one that goes to the black point and one goes to the blue point. Now notice here, what we're going to do is, again, remember what I said. Okay, I've got a positive slope, so I'm going to make that x, and then I need to go through this black point. That black point is at 1, so I'm going to say plus 1. Ta-da! And obviously, if you're watching this not live and you're doing this on video on YouTube, just go ahead and pause where you need to, rewind where you need to. So then from there, what you're going to do is we need to modify the slope. So I've got 1 point here, 1 point here. I'm going to go up 2 and to the right 1. Okay, so up 2 to the right 1. Oh, wait, up 2 over 1. Oh, my slope is just going to be 2. Hey, it works. Now, we don't have a validation here because we don't need it. We can see that it works. That's the brilliant part about using this. Now, if you ended up, Mr. Hayes, what happens if I wrote down 2 over 1? Hey, it still works. What happens if I counted these little blocks and I went up 8 and over 4? I don't know. Let's find out. Oops, equals 8 over 4. Hey, it works. Okay. So that's again, the nice thing about doing this is that when you get instant feedback, you immediately know, do I need to change something? Now for this one over here, we're going to do the exact same thing, but now notice this line would be going downhill, down. Remember slope, dude? Yeah. Nice, negative. So I'm going to have to make my slope negative x. And now I already know that this is going to be plus 1, so I'm going to say plus 1. And some of you guys may already be ahead of the game. You're like, wait a second, that looks kind of reflective almost. So what would happen? Again, now notice here, if I start on this point, I have to go down 2 and over 1. Down 2 over 1. So that's going to be negative 2 over 1, which then would reduce to that. So try that. Now on the next slide, I'm going to just go ahead and hit pause, and I want you to write down some examples of what's going on, or what's going on and what you noticed. Okay? And unpause when you're done. So what you should have said something over here is that their slopes are opposite. They have the same y-intercept would be the same. That type of thing. Slide 9, same thing as before. Now notice here I've got my starting point of 1. So when I type this in, I'm going to go y equals, I've got a positive slope since I'm going uphill, x plus 1. All right, through the y-intercept, we're good. So now we just need a slope. This slope here doesn't work. I need to go up 2 and over 1, 2, 3, 4. So once you go over 4, so okay, so up 2 over 4. Okay, so let's try that. Let's start with that. Hey! And we went to the point. Again, you can reduce that. 1/2. You can count all the little black. I mean, whatever, just so long as the y direction is going to be what is here. The x, oh, pardon me. And the x direction is what's on the bottom. Now for the other one, where are we starting? Oh, wait, we're starting down here. Okay, so y equals, I still have a positive slope. Oops, let's say -2. Hey, all right. Now notice some people always ask, hey, can I go plus -2? Yeah, that works. Nobody's going to be upset with you about that. And the next step, up to right 4. Ooh, another 2/4. Yay. Now you could also ask, hey, I think that reduces down to 2. Now if it reduces down to 2, oh wait, no, it doesn't. Oh, right, because it's supposed to be 1/2. Yeah, see? So you can even reduce fractions on this. It's amazing. All sorts of instant feedback. So now again, you're going to go through and hit pause and do this. All right, so some things you might have said, differences were the y-intercepts were the different, but the slopes were the same. Just notice here, I mean, these are basically parallel, so the slopes are the same. So this up here is also 1/2. But the y-intercepts are different. Let's try 11. Actually, you pause it right now. Try 11. Let's do that. So this one here, it's a little bit goofier, because notice you don't have a point here on the equation, okay? And so that's actually what they get into the next thing, because it's like, okay, maybe. So I know it's negative slope because I'm going downhill, okay. And plus, I don't know, maybe 2.5? Yeah, that kind of works. What's my slope? I'm going to go down 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, down 2/6. Ooh, see, that's close, but not there. So I got to change this just a little bit. I don't know where did that go through. Like 2.6? No, that's 6. Oh, there we go. Oh, look at that. Ooh, it's not even. Ooh, that's messy. And that's one of those things that y slope intercept form doesn't work all the time. And that's what you're going to do over here on 12. Is that it's harder because you don't have a y-intercept. And so that's why we're going to go into point slope somewhere tomorrow. So let's try 13. All right, write an equation of this line in slope intercept form. So a couple of things that you probably want to do first is that you want to identify where is this line crossing the y-axis. And you're like, ooh, okay, it's going down. Ooh, -1. Okay, so I know that, and it's negative, so I'm going to go down. So that's going to be y equals -1. Oh, see, look, right even there. It even works. So x minus 1. Ooh, that's really close. Now, if it does it right, you should only have one line because the two lines should be on top of each other, which is kind of the cool part. So the black line will go red. All right, so now I got to mess around with this. So I got to find another point so I can figure out the slope. So you can go ahead and just start guessing. To be honest, the problem with that is that you can have a million fractions and still not be the same thing. So remember, you can move this around. I'm going to go like this because my next nice point, and again, remember, if you get like way out of place or way zoomed out or something like that, just hit home. It'll bring you back to the origin in a rather nice place. So here, I've got this point here, and then I've got a nice one down here. A nice point, remember, means it's going through a grid line. You could actually even do it on this one here if you wanted to. So I'm going to go down 3 and to the right 4. Okay, or I could go down 1, 2, 3 numbers and then over. Okay, so it's the same thing. So I'm going to change the slope from -1 to -3 divided by 4. Now notice the line goes from black to red. Why? Because we are basically, and I'm just going to move the y-intercept so you can see what's going on. You're taking this line, and remember what happened when we got closer and closer and closer to it. So as I say, like -1.8, 1.7, 1.6, it gets closer and closer until we get right on top of it. So that's kind of what you're going for. All right, so on this next slide, hit pause, and I want you to try this one first, and then go ahead and double check it. And then I'm going to let you guys continue the rest of the homework on your own. All right, sorry, I'm just trying to close my chat window. So again, same thing here. You want to start, where's my starting point? Ooh, right there. So I know that it's going positive, so I'm going to say y equals 1. x minus 2. Now, here's the other thing to think about. This slope of 1 is always going to kind of here. And so the question is this new line, do I need to bring, if I'm looking off the y-intercept here where these two are intersecting, do I need to bring this down or do I need to bring it up? Since I need to bring it down, it needs to get smaller like we talked about before. So we know that this is going to end up being a number less than 1. But anyway, I digress. So again, you're going to look for along the black line. We want to have a nice point. Oh, there's one right there. So that means I'm going to go up 1 and to the right 1, 2, 3. All right. Now again, don't just rely on counting the blocks because if this was scaled differently, then it would be something totally different. But anyway, so I'm going up 1 over 3, so that's going to be up 1 divided by 3. Hey, perfect. Okay, I hope that helps give you guys some ideas in terms of what to do. I'm going to go ahead and get this up. I would like you to go through and finish out 15, 16, 17, and then try 18, 19 as well. Okay, those are some bonus ones. On number 16, be careful because it's a special case, and that's okay. Just ask what your y-intercept is and ask what the slope is, and we'll go from there. All right? See you in class. Bye.